Okay, this book, y'all know you hear me mention her all the time, all right? My girl, Alicia Keys, another one of the girls. Okay, she's part of the tribe. You're invited, Alicia, all right? Welcome back to the channel, fam. Excited to have you folks here today because I want to share with you a few of my treasures that actually came to me from one of the IG followers who had a question about something that he saw in my background. Let's jump into what it is. So a little while ago, I got a DM from one of my followers named Jonah, Junglemon, if you will. I'm going to put that up there. But he said, "Hi, can I have a pic of your books behind you? I see the slight edge." And it's funny, when he had asked me about that, I had just got the book like maybe a week or two before he sent that. So today, what I'm going to share with you folks are the books. And these are not all my books. These are just the books that you famously see in the back of my, in my backdrop area that I've read that I just kind of kept stacked. So I'm just going to kind of share with you folks a few of them. I don't want to say that they're all my favorites, but every time I read a book, I just feel a connection, whether it's to the author, whether it's to the story. I always find a way to do it, which is why I love reading. It's like this quiet moment where I can have this time to, be in another world, essentially. Even if it is a nonfiction book, you can still do that with nonfiction books. And I create this world of what things could be like if I read a certain thing, and it helps me to really kind of solidify and clarify my goals. So I just really love reading books. So I'm going to share with you a few of my faves. Let me share with you the first one here. I'm actually not going to share you in order of what they are stacked. I'm going to share with you the order on which I currently love them. Okay. So my first one is this one. This is Greenlights by Matthew McConaughey. I'm sure you've seen it all over the place. He just wrote it in 2020, released in the latter part of 2020, and it is just, I will say I was not sure about how I was going to feel about an actor writing, right? You're not sure. Like, let the writers write, let their actors act, right? So whenever celebrities and people write books, I'm always a little cautious, but I give them a chance because I feel like I kind of know them, from them being a celebrity. It's the same thing I did with Matthew McConaughey. I saw a few good reviews, and so I bought it. I got the book first, and then I started reading through it, and I could hear his voice as I was flipping through, and I was like, I have an Audible account. Why don't I just buy this? It was the best thing I did was to buy it through Audible. I will tell you right now, that is the benefit of him being an amazing actor. He could act out the voices with the influxes of, of things are going on. You could hear the excitement. You can really hear how the thoughts were permeating through his mind as he's writing this. I don't know that you can get that much in the book because I read the book along with listening to it. I was trying to get the whole experience. But Greenlights, what I loved about it was it is just such a great book on the art of living, right? And it really just gives an overall view of how living a life that not only fulfills you, but a life that gives back, a life that encourages experience and learning from those experiences and using those experiences to help you to grow more. Like, it really does kind of give that vibe, if you will. And I think that's why I liked it so much. And, of course, Matthew McConaughey is a very talented writer. I definitely don't put him into the celebrity gone writer. I feel like he's just a writer. And there's a lot of things that he shared in there that really made me feel good about my writing, because I'm like, oh my God, I do that too. So Greenlights is a great one. If you haven't gotten it, check that one out. I'll have all of these books in my Amazon link below, just because some of you might want to read them, and it's just be an easy way to find them rather than kind of figuring out. Another one, forgive this one, I didn't get it off Amazon. This is a Target 20% off list, but this one is You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. What I loved about this is Jen kind of talks like how I talk, and so there already was the way that we write, and the way that she writes sounds like a girlfriend that I talk to, and I feel like her humor is really what brought this together, really what brought how really becoming yourself and really returning to the badass that you are really is helpful to making more a reality and just kind of like come back into your badassness. So Jen Cincero's You Are a Badass, Awesome book. Now, this one is called Big Magic, all right? And this is by Elizabeth Gilbert, who also wrote, I'm sure you guys have heard of Eat, Pray, Love, all right? If you haven't, what the heck, guys? What rock are you under, right? So this is another book that she read. And what I like about Big Magic is the way that Elizabeth talks about, or Liz as she calls herself, or as people call her, the way that she talks about big magic or spirituality or manifesting is really intangible items. Her analogies seem very tangible and really kind of bring it back to the logical, right? And for some of you who are super spiritual, you'll jump right into that and you'll totally love it and you'll get it. For those of us who are kind of like for me on the logical side, I'm still learning my creative artistry, and it's still like the woo-woo has, even though I'm kind of into it, I have not really like fully grasped it to be like, oh yeah, I totally get that. I really needed a logical look, a tangible way to think of things in analogies when I'm thinking about, manifestations and all these different types of things on how we can really, how we can really improve our creative life. And what she does is she really put it into a picture that I'm like, I get that. And that is what she so brilliantly does in this book. There's so many other things that she does, but Big Magic is another great one. This was a great book that I read back in 2019 when it came out. I'm sure you folks, I'm assuming you guys are saying, you guys are keeping up all these books. These might all be brand new to you, but like I say it like everybody's hype on books like how I am. But this is my girl, Marie Forleo. Oh my God, she's kind of becoming the my girl, like how Oprah is my girl, right? These are all my girls, right? But Marie Forleo, I love this thing that she got from her mom, right? Everything is figureoutable. I've had a saying where like, there's always a way. And, we can figure things out. I've always had that mindset, right? But I love that everything is figureoutable. It's such a cute phrase. Like it's her own word, right? To kind of make it have that same idea of this growth mindset and how when you just step back and take a look at things, you can really figure things out. And I really feel like that's been a really big part of the success that I've had in my life. No thing has been too big for me to figure out. It may take me longer. It may take a little bit of help that I'm going to need to invite in, but everything really is figureoutable. And so that really plays into my not giving up, my stick-to-itiveness, if you will, and all the different things that I deal with in life, whether it's in my relationships, whether it's helping my children become adults, whether it's, in the real estate investing world, in retiring and finance and running a business, all these things, in my head, things are always figureoutable, right? And that's really the two different mindsets, right? There's a fixed mindset and there's a growth mindset. I talked about that in my mindset videos. So if you want to see more information on that, go back to those videos and it'll help you really see the difference between those. And having an everything is figureoutable, there is always a way type of mindset, that is a growth mindset. And this book really helps you too, because she gets into the down and dirty on like, here's how you do this. And there's a lot of practicing in here where she really helps you to kind of get it to the point where you're able to do it. And she has these things called Figureoutable field notes right here, Figureoutable field notes. And you'll see, like I have a lot of my notes in here. I like to buy books because I like to write in them, not have a separate notebook because I don't want to lose that notebook, but I probably won't lose the book. So I put my notes in here. But she has this thing in here called Figureoutable field notes that really kind of help you to put into action and practice the things that she's talking about. So great book there. Okay, this book, y'all know you hear me mention her all the time, all right? My girl, Alicia Keys, another one of the girls. Okay, she's part of the tribe. You're invited, Alicia. All right. More myself. So I believe if I'm doing the math correctly, Alicia Keys and I are like a year apart from each other. And obviously we've lived very different lives, right? I'm not like this like international superstar, but through her music back from the early 2000s, songs in A minor, when Fallen came out, like literally there was something about her music that talked to me. And you folks may have seen me talk about this in my on social medias or whatever. I share not necessarily so much my love for Alicia Keys, even though I have major love for this girl. It really is that I felt like she was talking to me, the relatability in all the different parts of our lives, right? From when she started off in songs in A minor to where she is now with all of her music and her writing and how she's really gone her own way. And when I read this book, which she's titled More Myself, I truly felt like I could have written this book. Like the same time that she's coming into like, oh, this is who I am, and owning who I am, and realizing I'm the badass, realizing all these great and hard parts of myself, and how all of this plays into my life, it really, really made me feel like this is the book that I needed to read. And I got it right when it came out. I want to say it came out early 2020. So I read it in early 2020, and that's right when I was starting to have a lot or thinking about having changes in my life. And you know, this really kind of solidified for me, be yourself, Shan. Like, become more into yourself. Alicia did it, right? But becoming more into yourself will really help to create the path of what you're either looking for or what's going to give you the fulfillment. I have a feeling, Shan, this is the dialogue going in my head. I have a feeling, Shan, you know exactly where you're going to go. You just need a few guideposts along the way to kind of nudge you back on the path and keep you going in the direction that you're meant to. And this book definitely helped me to do that. So love Alicia for that. This one is A Return to Love. So it's based off of a very, very older book that might be hard for some of you to read. And it's called A Course in Miracles. I'm not sure if you've heard that book. Very, very great in uncovering fears and uncovering like what I call all the layers that society, life experience, traumas, all those things put onto us as individuals. What this does is it helps us to uncover those things. Now, what A Return to Love is, to me, is a simplified version of A Course in Miracles, because A Course in Miracles, it's a rough one to digest, like, or even to ingest. It's a lot to take in. But what this does is, she calls it a reflection to the principles of A Course in Miracles, was, to me, she really caught on the big key factors on what A Course in Miracles is helping us to do. This course of creating this miracle of our life and what is possible to us is super, super important. And I think that Marianne Williamson really simplified how to do that through A Return to Love. And this is a book that I read the week after I retired from my job. It's like one of the first things that I read right after that really just kind of helped to ground me to where I needed to go, where I wanted to be, and really helped set the path to where I am today, right? 6 months or so later. Now, this book, I'm sorry for all the coffee stains on it, is the book that actually Jonah had referenced, which is The Slight Edge. I actually haven't gotten around to reading it. So as you folks see, I like to have books that are kind of around me, where I can see like things that I've read to remind myself of my accomplishments of reading that. And then I also have a stack of books that are like, oh, you need to read this because these are things that you want to do. And really, I just also have books, like one of my big dreams is to have a huge library. It's like on my, I don't know if you can see this right here. This is my, oh, this is not really clear, but this is my vision board, okay, for the year. And down on this corner, you can't really see it here, is a huge ass library. It's like some library in Germany. And I love books that much. Like, I want to have my own library, right? Whether it's at my house or it's its own space, I don't know. But I always have these books around. So I'm actually going to get to reading this. I saw this on a YouTube channel that I follow, and I saw her review on it, and it really kind of made sense for me to take into the things that that might actually be helpful for me, whether it's in business or in life. So those are two things that I always want to grow. So I love that. Now, one more book that I have in here, I'm going to look it up on my phone right now as I'm talking to you, is something that I did not get the what is that called? The hardcover version. And by the way, I am a hardcover girl. If it's only in paperback, I will roll my eyes for like 10 times and then I'll buy it. I really prefer the hardcovers. But this particular book is called Untamed. Oh my God. Untamed by Glennon Doyle. This is a monster of a book in the fact that it makes you want to be a better woman. Specifically, this is really about the untaming of women, and she tells a great story in there about a cheetah. In fact, you could probably see a quick YouTube video on it. She had a discussion with a few different interviewers. I think Marie Forleo was one of them. But she talked with different people about what the cheetah story is, and it's a beautiful analogy for the coming into that a lot of women who are my age or our age, for those of you who are following me, come into, where we're asking more questions about ourselves. We're wondering, how do we do these things and we're wondering, how do we get from here to there? How do we get over this hump of, okay, now my kids are grown, I'm still a mom, but I'm not an active mom. How do I get to this part? What are the parts about me that I really want to shed that really are not serving anymore, and how to do that? And through Glennon's story, which is amazing, you will definitely be able to see and hear all the different things that she had to do and challenges that she had to overcome and realities that she really had to accept in order to be able to have the life that she lives now. And if you follow her on Instagram, her and her wife Abby are so fun. They're fun, and just their banter. I'm definitely more of an Abby personality, but I love Glennon just because though she's like the kind of person that I would like to be that I probably never will be. So I just kind of keep those people around me just to kind of give me the good feels about what it's like to have a well-rounded personality. So guys, these are just some of the books that I have. You're going to see in the Amazon store, I have like my all-time favorite books. So you're going to see more books there. But these are more the ones that I've read in the last several months that were not only helpful, but things that I kind of draw into how I'm approaching my year, how I'm going through my year. And reading books has always been one of the things that kind of push me forward, gives me new ideas and gives me new perspectives on my life, what I want to do, and see if that I don't agree with that at all. Or, you know what? I never considered it that way. I'm so happy I read this. That is what books does for me, right? Whether it's podcasts for you, whether it's watching YouTube's videos for you, which I do those things myself too, but books, there's something about the solitary act of reading a book in quiet, wherever you're doing it, that for me brings it to life. And it's why it's one of my favorite things to do. So if you used to enjoy reading and you haven't done it in a while, grab a book, maybe one from this list here, and get started on that. If you are someone who like wants to be a reader, you feel like you have a lot of friends who do that, you're like, oh, I wish I could read books. Start off with an audiobook. You can get a subscription to Audible that will really definitely help you to consume the books more, and that might be something that you end up doing even more because you find that it's easy, right? There's just so many ways to do it, but do it for the right reasons. If you just want to read books because you have all your friends who read books, but you are not a reader and you kind of hate it, don't do it just because of that. Do it because you enjoy it, right? So just take that little tidbit with you. Don't do something because someone says you should, or someone who you love, me, does it, right? Definitely do it because it's something that fills your soul and it's something that you really enjoy doing it. All right, guys, from my books and I will see you folks on the other side, and until we do, keep evolving. Bye.